On this episode of Soldier Tech Battlefield, we're going to be taking a look at the Ouya, which is a $99 gaming console, and see whether it's going to be a great alternative to all the other different systems out there. So let's go and start the show. Welcome back to another episode of Soldier Tech Battlefield. I'm your host, Mark Watson, otherwise known as Soldier Knows Best. On this episode, I'm going to be taking a look at the Ouya, this $99 gaming console, and see how it stacks up against everybody else in the market, because it's definitely taking its own way when it comes to gaming and really try to be different from the norm. So quick backstory to the Ouya is that it started off as a Kickstarter project and ended up being one of the most successful ones, raising over $8 million for it. And I think a lot of people were very intrigued with this because one, of the price point is only going to cost $99, and two, it is open source. It is running Android, and basically anybody can make games for it. Also, they encourage you to tinker around with not only just the hardware but also the software. And speaking of the hardware itself, I do have one of the Ouyas, and I'm pretty impressed with it. Again, for a $99 console, the console itself is very tiny, very small. It's going to be very portable. Has a good selection of ports like your HDMI port, Ethernet, micro USB, and just a regular USB 2.0 port. And I think that the console itself is accurate to what a $99 console should look like. And now the controller is nice. It's not the best controller out there, but for a Bluetooth controller, it's pretty well done. It mimics the Xbox 360 controller a lot with the placement of the analog sticks. But one thing I really don't like with the controller is that the trigger buttons themselves are at the top, and they basically are like shoulder buttons. I would have rather had trigger buttons traditionally on the back of the controller. But one good thing that this controller does have is that the front is a trackpad. So when you are using things like the built-in web browser, using that trackpad to have a mouse pointer on the screen is very useful. So again, hardware wise, for a $99 gaming console, it is there. But I think a lot of people were really kind of hesitant about this system because they don't know about the software or the games. Now, especially when it comes to the games, when it first launched, it didn't have a lot of games for it, which is kind of something that you probably should expect. But now I think at the time of me making this video, it has about 151 games and counting. And now a few of the games are pretty fun to play. And so there are different games, like one called Vector, which basically puts you into the shoes of a free runner, and you're jumping over obstacles and buildings and doing all types of tricks. And then they have another game called Dub Wars, which is one of my favorite games. It's basically like Geometry Wars meets dubstep music. So you're moving your ship around, and the weapon and the ship fires its weapons in according to the dubstep music, which is pretty interesting. It's a pretty cool concept. But it's a lot of those type of arcade games that are on here, which again are not going to appeal to a lot of people out there. But if you're kind of old school like me, and I consider myself old school, and you remember going to the arcade and playing certain games on here, and the system is going to be fun. And if you actually look at the Xbox 360 and the PS3, I mean, they're really pushing these arcade games being installed on their system so people can kind of play and relive these type of classic games that are out there. But again, the games and the software themselves are really going to be what make or breaks this Ouya system, whether it's going to be something that's really going to be a good alternative to the next generation systems that are going to be coming out. And a lot of people, it may just all come down to price. $99 is a really good price point for this Ouya, but for a lot of the people, it's really going to come down to the content. But I think if what we see right now is a good indication of where this Ouya is going, I think we have a system that's going to be around for a long time. They've raised a lot of money for it. They have interest in the product. It's going to be sold at Best Buy stores and other popular locations like that. So I think the Ouya is something that can survive against all the other next generation gaming consoles that are bringing, you know, visuals and storylines to it. And this console is going to be something where you just want to pick up and play and have fun. It's going to be right there for you. So this Ouya versus everybody else, I think it's something that can actually get the job done and be that third or fourth gaming system on people's list that they may be interested in getting. So anyway, guys, just a quick video of me giving my opinion about the Ouya and where it racks up against all the other competition on the market right now. What do you think about this Ouya system? Am I wrong? Is this thing going to die off in a few months? Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with me. And also too, if you have any other ideas about another future Soldier Tech Battlefield show, leave that comment down below as well. And thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.